Thank you, everyone, and welcome. We'll begin our fiscal planning, finance, and building committee meeting in open session on Wednesday, April the 9th, 2025. Thank you to everyone online as well who's joined us. And the call to order is now in order. Item 2 on the agenda is a motion to convene into closed session. Trustee Promoli, will you move us there? Trustee Elves, second it. We're all in favor of moving into closed session. Thank you. That's carried. Item 3 is to rise and report from the closed session. And this is the section where I need to rise and report from our closed session regarding minutes of the Fiscal Planning, Finance, and Building Committee closed meeting of February the 5th, 2025, and the procurement activity report of January 1st to February 28th, 2025. Trustee Bailey, will you put that on the floor? Trustee Elves will second it. All in favor? That's carried. Item 4 is acknowledgement of traditional lands. Thank you, staff.
The land upon which we work, live, and sustain ourselves is the ancestral and treaty lands of the Michizagig Anishinaabe, also known today as the Mississaugas of the Credit, the rightful caretakers and title holders of this land. We also recognize the rich pre-contact history and relationships which include the Anishinaabe and the Ongwe-Hongwe.
Since European contact, this land continues to be home to Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. As responsible community members, we value the diversity, dignity, and worth of all people.
Colonialism displaced and dispossessed Indigenous peoples of their ancestral land
and continues to deny their basic human rights, dignities, and freedoms.
We are committed to learning true history to reconcile, make reparations, and fulfill our treaty obligations to the original peoples and our collective responsibilities to the lands, water, animals, and each other for future generations.
Thank you. Item 5 is approval of the agenda, which we have before us. Trustee McDonald, will you move that? Trustee Davies, will you second? That is all in favor of receipt of approving that, brother? That has carried. Item 6 is declarations of conflict of interest. Are there any to declare? And seeing none around the table. Item 7 is approval or receipt of minutes. Item 7.1 is the stop our student transportation appeal region minutes from November 21st, 2024. They're here for our receipt. Let's move it to the floor. Trustee Promoli, Trustee Bailey, we second it. It's on the floor. Are there any questions or concerns about those minutes? All in favor of receipt? That is carried. Thank you. Item 7.2, also here for our receipt from Stopar, their January 30th meeting minutes. Let's move that. Trustee Promoli will move it to the floor. Trustee Elves, will you second it? It's on the floor. Are there any questions about item 7.2 minutes? And seeing none, all in favor of receipt? That is carried. Item 7.3 is here for our approval. It's the Fiscal Planning, Finance, and Building Committee meeting of February 5th. Trustee McDonald, will you move that to the floor? Trustee Bailey, will you second it? Thank you. It's on the floor. Are there any questions from that set of meeting minutes of February 5th? Seeing none, all in favor of approval of those minutes? That's carried. Thank you. Item 8 is delegations, of which there are none. Item 9 is staff reports, of which we have a few. Item 9.1 is the Peel District School Board partnership with the City of Mississauga for a new upgraded track and field at the Woodlands Secondary School. This is here for our recommendation, and it's a presentation by Frank Sands. Over to you, Mr. Sands.
Thank you very much, Chair Cameron, and through you. To optimize its properties for the benefit of students, staff, and the broader community, the Peel District School Board is continually exploring opportunities through grants or potential partnerships with either municipalities or third parties for the construction of upgraded artificial turf fields and tracks at schools. These facilities not only provide exceptional athletic spaces for students, but also serve in supporting the community. Without the investment of the funds from these grants and or partnerships, the Peel District School Board would not be able to offer such facilities at its schools. To date, the Peel District School Board has established 12 upgraded track and field partnerships and will be adding a new artificial track and field partnership with the City of Mississauga at the Woodlands Secondary School. The budget for this project is approximately $5.2 million. The cost will be shared equally between the school board and the city of Mississauga. The planned facility will feature an International Association Athletics Federations, IAAF, certified 8-lane synthetic track and an artificial turf field. A few other key elements are the artificial turf field will feature alternate green lines for a football field and additional markings for soccer, international rugby, field hockey, and field lacrosse. The Woodland Secondary School will be displayed at center field, while the Peel District School Board and the City of Mississauga logos will be positioned in the end zones. The track area will also include a steeplechase, high jump area, a long and triple jump, and a synthetic runway. There will be bleacher seating with a capacity of 288. The facility will be equipped with an LED remote controlled scoreboard, new LED sports lighting, and an LED pedestrian walkway leading to the school parking lot. A new 3.5 meter wide asphalt pathway will connect the school property, linking both the Woodlands and McBride Public School to the adjacent municipal parking lot. Next steps, the Peel District School Board and City of Mississauga have agreed to a partnership, and we are in the process of negotiating a development, maintenance, and joint use agreement for the facility. Updates on the status of the joint use agreement will be provided at future PPFB meetings. Construction is scheduled to begin in September 2025, and it is anticipated to be completed by spring of 2026. Tomorrow night, the Peel District School Board and the City of Mississauga will co-host a public information session to provide details and answer questions about the upgraded track and field facility. A letter to families of students attending the Woodlands and McBride Public School, and also as well to residents living in close proximity to the facility has been sent home inviting them to attend the information session. And I could refer everyone to the appendix 1 there. It's a rendering of the turf field. It's going to look fantastic at the school. It's a very exciting project. The school's excited, and what I like about this one too is that having McBride on the property as well is great. That both the elementary students and secondary schools will be able to share in this turf field and track. So that's great. And so I think. Trustee Cameron, you mentioned this, but the recommendation is that the trustees approve the staff entering into this partnership with the City of Mississauga. Thank you very much, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
It's an exciting time. Let's get this on the floor for any questions. Trustee Promoli, this is your school, and Trustee McDonald, this is Mississauga, your area as well. We have moved to the floor. Any questions or comments about this project, this very exciting project? We'll go with Trustee Promoli because it's her school. We'll start there, and Trustee Bailey next, please.
Thank you so much for everything on this. So all of this started with an email from Mr. McNamara from the Phys Ed department and Principal Omarzia, who saw the need for some upgrades on the property. They have such an incredible athletics program at the Woodlands and so much activity all the time at that school. But they were at a point where they were finding that their track and field were no longer usable because of the state of the field and the track. And they were having to leave the property all the time just to be able to allow their students to practice and train and get ready for competition. And they could never host anybody back at their own school. I wish that Principal Zio was still here with us because he would be absolutely thrilled to see this progressing. That is somebody who had so much passion for that school and for the community that he served. And I am just so excited for the progress here. So thank you for all of this. I can't think of a school that's going to be more excited to see this continue on. And I'm thrilled about it. So thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Bailey?
Thank you. Through you, Chair. This does look very, beautiful. When it's done, it looks like it's gonna be really gorgeous. I do have a question. Is that a baseball diamond that I see right there by the by the 3 mini soccer fields?
Oh, yeah.
And,
To the right.
to the right?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Sands.
Through you, Chair Cameron. Yes, that's correct.
So is that baseball diamond going to be removed to accommodate those 3 mini soccer fields?
I believe it's going to be repositioned. We had many design meetings with the school and the school admin staff and the phys ed staff. I know they still use that diamond, and sorry, to the best of my recollection, we're going to move the diamond slightly so we can fit those 3 practice soccer fields on that.
Okay, so the diamond is not gonna be eliminated.
Yeah, it's going to change position slightly. Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Thank you.
Trustee Davis?
I'm okay with this. I just wanted to ask, Associate Director Gill if he's okay with this.
Of course, I think we are thrilled that means we on our radar. This has been on our radar ever since, at least for 10 years. And we've been working with the city to convince them to come along and work with us on this. And I think finally this other need as well as a bit of a push. So I'm thrilled that finally this will come to life in this way. And on top of that means as we work with the city, I mean from city point of view, all they need is the field. They really don't need a track, they don't need other things in there, but we do. So we do. So they're willing to work with us and share the cost, even though they only use it just the field itself from city point of view program. So I think it's a good partnership that we continue to work with the municipalities where possible. So it's going to be an exciting project, and I think we as a board will be thrilled, as well as I'm sure that the school and the students as well as the community in general. I think this is a win-win for both sides.
Thank you. You good?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Ells?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Trustee Davies said something that made me think. So just for the record, because I don't think it's that explicitly stated, but I think we've gone over it. You mentioned a $5 million cost. Can you just tell us a bit about where the money for the project is coming from and how the distribution of the cost sharing is happening?
Yes. So through you, Chair Cameron, as mentioned by Mr. Science, the cost will be shared. So it's 50-50. So our share is half of that.
So 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. And it does come from the funds we receive from the ministry for. I mean, they give it in the name of the funds is called School Condition Improvement Funds. So it's part of those funds. And our share of those funds any given year is around $50 million. So we will use those funds for that create these facilities.
I imagine the answer to my follow-up is going to be yes, but just curious. So we're looking at that refurbishment, roughly $50 million, we use it for things like this. There's really safe to assume that there's no impact into perhaps some things that I don't want to use need and want, but things that we really need. Everything else is accounted for. We're not going to dip into this, but then have a problem with, say, for example, elevator renovations for accessibility needs or anything like that, or would that be different funding?
Yeah, to you, my Chair Cameron. No, it's. Maybe we do get other pockets of funds as well for our capital improvements or facility maintenance and all that. There's a renewal funds we get around $20 million that too and there. So combined we get around $70 million of capital improvement. The way we look at expenditure of those funds is definitely anything first safety number comes. Then also the school operation. We want to make sure we continue to operate our schools. They're there, means making sure if there's any issues in there. And third, also we look at instructional improvements and all that as well. So we go through that process, and we are comfortable that the funding that we set aside for this project is not going to impact any of those categories.
Thank you. That's great to hear. It sounds like it's a win for us if the city's paying half the buck. So I appreciate the clarification for the board.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or concerns? Seeing that, I would just like to add how excited I am for Mississauga and the Woodlands in particular for this project. Having 2 of these in Caledon recently, one at Humberview Secondary School, one in Mayfield. The Mayfield one, I would share with everyone. I invited a handful of trustees to join me for a Friday night lights game. Humberview playing Mayfield and Mayfield. Trustee Bailey was there, Trustee Cremoli was there, Trustee Davies was there, Trustee Johal was there. I was there, and we had a blast, and it was so much fun. And there were, I should tell you, 2,000 people at this game. And it was 2,000 kids who were not somewhere else on a Friday night. And they were cheering positive for each other. There were no issues behaviorally. And it was just, it's the fact that this kind of project is half for us and half for someone else is a good deal. There's only one taxpayer, and we found a partner. I think when we find a partner like this, we look at the multi-year strategic plan and say, well, isn't one of the goals community engagement? And here we are with the city of Mississauga making this happen. So I would leave it to Trustee Cremoli to organize a trustee visit to the first Friday Night Lights game, assuming it's before the end of October 2026, because this building, according to Mr. Sands, would be finished in the spring of 2026, right? That's what I heard you say, I think. So, so let's do it. This is so exciting. I'm so excited. I did have one question in a serious venue, which has to do with lighting. I think I do understand this. We have had, if you've ever been at some other facilities where neighbors are unhappy with the lighting that's shining into their windows, and they have a lot of complaints that come out of that. I think there's something special or unique about this lighting. Mr. Sands, do you have any idea how we can look at this differently?
Absolutely. Through you, Chair Cameron. The lighting for these fields has improved significantly over the last 10 years. Best way to describe it is where if you're standing off the field, you're in the dark, you take one step over into the field, you're in the light, and it's shielded from behind to block light going into the neighbors' houses. So I know we've had some problems at Applewood before, and we've done our best to fix up the lights here, and this will have that type of lighting at this field at Woodlands. So you might get a few concerns about the lights, but mostly things have changed a lot since our problems at Apple.
So if I could just follow up, I think the difference here between that Applewood and here is that Applewood has a third-party private operator who has to try to answer those questions, whereas this is with the city of Mississauga, who should be able to answer their own bylaw questions around lighting and sound and lights and late night noise. Hopefully help us through that. Thank you. Yes, Trustee Elsie.
I almost shipped out of my seat when I heard the lights, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't tell you about the problems that I have at Applewood because of the lighting. And I realized that we have the constraint being a third party that operates the field. Was there any way we could share the vendor with them and maybe they could look at that? Or I'm not sure what the cost would be, but can we get that information over to Applewood? Because I still get it from residents.
Yeah, sure. Yes. So through you, Chair Cameron, Trustee Hobbs, definitely we can look at it. We continually look into approve whatever we can to help about that. And just for your information, where originally our agreement was that the third party can use until 11 p.m. Okay, that's the standard. That's what the city facilities are also allowed to use. These lights until 11 p.m. One of the compromises we made with the community or the neighbors on that school is that they only will be using that facility until 10 p.m. So we did it. So we did make some compromises. We looked at some balancing of the light, changing the lights. We continuously look at it. And if we can make further improvements, yes, the third party, but they are really willing to work with us on that. So anything we can do to help the neighbors, we will continue to do.
Thank you. Through your chair, it's the Applewood Hills and Heights Homeowners Association, wonderful homeowners association, but the lights, you can imagine the winter gets dark at 6, gets dark at 7. So if that technology exists, and at the end of the day, it'll be the third party, but I think they might appreciate that because I'm sure they get a lot of calls too.
been there for that discussion as well, so thank you. I do understand the challenge. I would just add that all of us got invited, I believe, by Justin, our student trustee from Woodlands, who invited us to go to the Woodlands last year to see a music night. And I accepted that challenge, and not challenge, the invitation. And Trustee Promole and I were the two trustees representing the board, and had just an amazing time. It felt like the skill set at the school was high in every way. And athletics, academics, and arts would be a perfect match with this building now. So thank you. It's on the floor. We've had our discussion. This is here for recommendation as receipt. So all in favor of receipt?
Yes, approval.
Approval, receipt for approval. Approval. It's here for approval. I think we have that. That is carried. Thank you. Thank you. I move to item 9.2 is the application status update, which is here for our information, and the presentation from our planner, Zach Tesaro. Hi, Zach. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair Cameron. And through your chair, this report is for information and includes a list of development applications reviewed by staff for the months of November and December 2024 and January and February of 2025, with a location map and the letters sent to the respective municipality. Please note that development applications have different timelines based on market conditions, municipal approvals, and permits. I am now open to take any questions you may have.
We'll get this on the floor first. Trustee McDonald, will you move it, please? Trustee Promoli, second. It's on the floor. Are there any questions from anyone online or in the room? Seeing none from others, I do have one, and planner Tesaro, I'm not sure if this is in your area, but I did notice that some pretty massive development, at least for a Caledon area, in the Mayfield West Phase 2 development area, where we do have approval for money and for a new elementary K-8 school, 850 pupil places. And I wondered, given the massive development there, that's as houses come out of the ground as you drive by, almost north of Mayfield between Credit View and Chinguacousy, a very big development, about 20,000 people are going to be living in this area when it's all said and done, according to my colleagues at the town. Do we have any timeline on school, where we're at with respect to the school in that area?
Through your chair, are you talking, Mr. Chairman, are you talking about Mayfield West number 2?
Yes, that's right. With all the single-family dwellings, the apartments, the detached homes listed on your report. I'm looking for some understanding about housing, school development there.
Through your chair, currently we have ongoing discussions about that. I'm not sure if I have anything more to add. I'm not really involved in those discussions on that one. In terms of the other school sites that we're working towards, we're working with developers to provide the appropriate accommodation for the amount of units being proposed.
Okay, thank you. I think Controller Thomas looks like he can perhaps shed some light on the question. Thank you.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Cameron. In our annual planning document that was released last fall, we've provided, based on the development applications that have come in for all regions of the Moraines, and including, of course, the areas you've referenced in Caledon, we've provided information about the potential yields coming out of those areas based on the development applications that have been reviewed and that our team has commented on. And that information then goes into providing potential new capital investments in the future into new schools. Right, so that information is continually refreshed on an ongoing basis. If there is a particular area, this 20,000 unit development that you're referring to, I'll have the team actually go back and just follow up, and then we can get back to you with a specific response to that question. But generally speaking, in terms of the annual planning document, we do try to provide that ongoing forecast into the future of enrollment yields based on the development applications that we're aware of.
Okay, thank you. I know that you're aware of this because of your experience in this business. When the province gives us money and approval, they also ask when things are happening. And so I'll just speak for myself in that area, because my MPP wants to know when will we be doing a groundbreaking next, you know, so anything you could help along the way would help me help them.
Right. So through you, Chair Cameron, we're with reference to Mayfield West 2 public school particularly, what I can say is that the team is currently in the early stages of the site plan approval application process, which involves the town of Caledon. And so there is a lot of information that is requested and shared between both parties, both the PDSB and the town. That's a fairly lengthy process in terms of reviewing all of the requirements from the town, making sure that we provide all the necessary information to them. So it does take several months, even in a best case scenario. And you'll recall, Trustee Cameron, that we went through that with the Caledon East Public School project as well. And we're currently going through that with Ellendale Public School in Mississauga. So unfortunately, the municipal planning process and approval process is a lengthy one. It's one that we continually try to push our municipal colleagues to try and expedite. But at this time, we as a school board are treated no differently than any other developer in terms of the process that municipalities have to, that they go through in terms of reviewing projects that are in the queue.
In spite of the fact that we would argue that we should be treated a bit differently in terms of expediency.
Through you, Chair, absolutely.
School's a school, it's not a factory or a house. So, but thank you, I appreciate that. I was just thinking as we were talking previously about Mr. Sands' issue that last meeting, didn't we have a report on Brathwaite? The Brathwaite field? This is really magnificent stuff, is really what I'm saying, is that we're moving in such a positive way with facilities that help our children be successful in their pursuits. Just before I move on, this document, I think now all trustees have it, is the annual planning document 2024-2025. Just want to say thank you to the planning department for this. For me, this is a really important document that I refer to a lot, and now we have our own copy. Don't have to go online to look for it. It's in our hands. I'd like to say thank you to Deborah Fenn, who I understand from the planning department spent considerable amount of time. I'm not sure if she's online, but if she's not, she is. Awesome. Thank you, Deborah. That's amazing work, and we really appreciate your help in getting this into our hands as we all have it now. So thank you. Where are we? 9-3?
Yeah, 9-2.
9-2. Sorry, we're finished. Have we received that yet? No. Now, for 9.2, the application status. Thank you, Zach, for the information. All in favor of receipt as information, that is carried. Thank you. Item
Thanks, Chair
9.3
Chairman.
is Thank you. Procurement activity report, also here for our information, will be presented to us by Controller Tanya Letitia Charles.
Thank you, Chair Cameron, and through you. The report before you is the procurement activity report covering the period of January 1st to February 28th of this year. All contracts are awarded in accordance with the board purchasing policy and the board procurement regulations. Just a few highlights from the awards. The contract for site work services has been awarded. The contract for air handling upgrades at Glen Forest Secondary School. The contract for corporate mobile devices and services. The contract for HVAC upgrade in Glendale Public School. The contract for chiller placement at Glen Forest Secondary School and Turner Fenton South Secondary School, as well as a contract for portable classroom relocation, removal, and setup. The contract awards in this report have been posted publicly by the board as required by applicable public procurement regulations. This report is here for your information, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Well, let's move it to the floor. Trustee Bailey, will you move it? Trustee L, second. So it's on the floor. Are there any questions about 9.3, the procurement activity report? Seeing none. All in favor of receipt for information? That is carried. Thank you, Controller. Item 9.4 is a vandalism activity report, also here for our information, will be presented by Controller Thomas Chung.
Thank you. Good evening, and through you, Chair Cameron. You have before you the vandalism activity report for the month of December 2024 and for the month of January 2025. We had a total of 10 incidents in December and 13 incidents in January. There was no cost associated with December. We did see reduced activity, likely due to the colder weather for that month. We did see a slight rise in illegal dumping at schools. But we were fortunate in that our custodial staff were able to ascertain personal information, and we sent out 2 cease and desist letters to residents. And as for the month of January, we had a total of $3,510 cost. Glad to take any questions.
Thank you. It's on the floor and seconded. Are there any questions regarding this? Yes, trustee Bailey.
Through you, Chair. I would think January was a colder month. More people would be inside their houses. There's more incidents in January than in December.
We do notice, of course, that the winter months in general, although it's not a predictable thing, that reduced activity. And of course, as you'll see in our future reports, that the summer, spring, summer, fall are active months.
Maybe it was cold all year long. We wouldn't have any of this. At this rate, it might be.
Don't wish that on us.
It's Maple showers bring more snow. Thank you. It is interesting how people will dump things from their personal items, but inside is evidence that it's them. Just to share with you, I had this on my country line once, and big pile of garbage during the Toronto garbage strike. I went through it and found a prescription bottle. And I called the OPP. They came and they charged the guy, and he had to come send some guys to pick up his garbage, and he had to go to court, and I didn't have to go. And so I think sadly, people abusing our school properties like that is disgusting. But thank you. Any other questions, comments? No, all in favor of receipt for information? That is carried. Thank you. Item 10 is communications, of which I have none. Item 11 is trustee motions for consideration, of which there are none. Item 12.
No, we even noticed the motion. That's 12.
Okay.
We jumped ahead, sorry.
Never mind.
How dare you? The chair had a handle on this. I knew this was a notice. So item 12 is a trustee notice of motion. Are there any?
Yes.
Oh, there's one. Yes, yes. Trustee Promoli has a notice of motion she would like to present to us for our consideration next month.
Thank you, Chair. So this is a notice of motion regarding busing for French immersion students at the secondary level. Whereas the Peel District School Board provides busing to secondary students who live more than 3.9 kilometers walking distance from their catchment school, and whereas the Peel District School Board currently provides busing for French immersion students at the elementary level, and whereas the Peel District School Board offers a continued French immersion stream to secondary students at catchment schools, and whereas the Peel District School Board is expanding busing to students participating in regional choice learning programs, and whereas students wishing to continue within the French immersion stream in their secondary education are unable to access this programming at their assigned French immersion catchment school due to distance, therefore be it resolved that staff assess the cost of providing busing to secondary French immersion students and report these findings to the Board of Trustees for consideration.
Thank you. There's no comment about this. This is just here for our notice. We have been notified that this will be something that will be on the agenda next meeting for us to discuss at that point. And we don't need to receive it or second it. It is here as it is. So thank you for that, Trustee Promoli. Just before we get to adjournment, I wanted to say goodbye to Frank Sands, who is retiring at the end of this month. At the end of May. And so will you be here at the May meeting? You won't be here at the May meeting.
Through you, Chair Kevin. Yeah, I start vacation on May the 1st and then retire on May 31st.
Well, then this is an appropriate farewell, and thank you, Frank. I want to speak about how you and I have worked together on a number of projects the last couple of years, and I have found you to be the utmost in professionalism, in clarity and communication, in responsiveness, speed of responsiveness. And you're a champion for this board because I know you were a student here before you became an employee and moved through the ranks of a number of different positions. You are the epitome of leadership and friendship and mentorship. And I hope you have only the best of time in your retirement, whatever you are doing, wherever you are going, you deserve it. Thank you, Frank, for everything. Let's go. Adjournment. All in favor of adjournment? Let's just, we have to move it. Jill, will you move this? Will you second it? All in favor? That is carried. And thank you, everyone.